The Australian Council for Student Voice acknowledges the traditional custodians of the unceded lands, skies and waterways on which we live, work and learn. We pay our deepest respects to elders past and present and honour the enduring knowledge, strength and cultures of First Nations peoples. For over 65,000 years, they have cared for country, its lands, skies and waters, since time immemorial. We especially recognise the leadership and voices of First Nations young people. As young people across these lands continue to advocate for treaty and healing, we commit to listening deeply, learning continuously and standing in solidarity. We acknowledge that sovereignty was never ceded, and we remain committed to a future grounded in truth, justice, and reconciliation.
All right, well, good afternoon and welcome to the Australian Council for Student Voices Symposium. I would first like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land for which we speak today. I'm coming to you from the lands of the Dharawal people and pay my respects to elders past and present and any Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander colleagues or students on the call today. Today, we're really blessed to have a space where we can share what student voice means and create a space where students feel seen and heard. My name is Katrina Stuve and I manage the Minister Student Council, also known as the Doves, which is a part of the New South Wales Department of Education. We're lucky to have 4 of our students from the council here today. We have Hetvi Halay. She's from Richmond Agricultural College of Excellence. Got that right. We have Mahika Rahman. She's from Elizabeth MacArthur High School. Danielle Dodds, and she's from Camden Haven High School. And Layla Sinanovic, she's from Sefton High School. So welcome to the 4 of you for joining us today. We're going to talk probably for about 30 minutes and then we'll have some time for some questions, but we'll see how we go. Layla, do you want to just start this first part? Oh, her mic isn't working. Mahika, can you just take over Layla's part? The first section?
Of course, no worries.
Yeah, okay. All right, so we might just start with what the council is and your role as a council member. So Mahika, do you want to start there?
Of course, thanks, Katrina. The Minister Student Council is made up of 27 elected students with 3 representatives from each of the 9 public school directorates across New South Wales. Members range from Year 7 to Year 11 and each serve a 2-year term. Every March, the new council is officially sworn at Parliament House by the Deputy Premier. Throughout the year, council members meet online once per month with the Deputy Secretary of Public Schools, as well as separately with the Deputy Premier and the Minister for Education and Early Learning. The council also hosts forums that give students the chance to share their opinions, ideas, and feedback that concerns about their education. Sorry about that. Representing a diverse range of voices, the council works to positively influence education policy and advocate for greater student engagement, inclusivity, and innovation for New South Wales public schools. Members are recognised as leaders in student voice, both within their own schools and across the wider education system, with a strong focus on supporting the social and emotional domains of the high potential and gifted education.
Thanks, Mahika. And I know that it's your first year on the council. What's one thing that you have loved about the council so far?
I loved the fact that I was able to connect with so many different people from around New South Wales. Like, we share the similar passion for changing New South Wales public schools and how to change it for the better. I found it really interesting, and my time at the Melanoma Institute and at Parliament House was just amazing. I got to meet so many new people. I got to meet you as well. It was
a special time. Yeah. Great job. Okay, so you're here to talk about today fostering creative and inclusive learning environments. How did the council come up with this idea for the proposal?
This idea was first brought forward by the former National Student Voice Council, who had worked hard to create a report with key recommendations for the Federal Education Minister, Jason Clare. From their work, the Minister Student Council chose to carry this recommendation forward because we believe that it has the power to make a difference. By focusing on fostering creative learning environments, we hope to create a positive change that will inspire and support students.
Thanks, Mahika. So Danielle, I might go over to you now. Can you give us an overview of what the proposal is about?
Thank you, Katrina. Our proposal is about fostering creative and inclusive learning environments that truly support all students, especially those with diverse and neurodivergent needs. We believe education should move beyond being exam focused and instead be driven by curiosity, exploration, and creativity. By shifting the focus By shifting the focus in this way, we can create classrooms where every student feels valued, has the chance to discover their strengths, and develops a genuine love of learning that lasts a lifetime.
Yeah, and I think it also creates a sense of belonging in schools as well. Thank you for that. And do you want to give us the key recommendations of the proposal that you came up with?
Um, so, for starters, supporting diverse learning needs, especially neurodivergent students, through flexible teaching approaches, resources, and personalized support, such as PLPs, um, personalized learning plans to recognize each student's strengths, goals, and challenges to ensure they have a voice in shaping their own learning journey. um, Shifting the focus from exams to curiosity-driven learning with more opportunities for hands-on exploration, problem solving, and critical thinking. Encouraging creativity and lifelong learning by giving students space to experiment, take risks, and follow their passions beyond the classroom, and foster inclusive environments where every student feels heard, valued, and empowered to contribute to their learning community.
Great, thanks, Danielle. That's excellent. Hetvi, I might go to you now. What would a school that supports the fostering creative and inclusive learning environments look like, and what values and characteristics would they hold?
Thank you. So the school environment would be more positive and there'd be higher attendance rates at school. So when we create a learning environment that suits the needs of different students, it allows room for exploration and knowledge. For example, instead of a so-called paper and pen examination, imagine the difference that could be created when we change this way of assessing a student. Allowing for exploration and curiosity-driven learning can create an impact on how a student approaches a task. So the values and characteristics they would uphold, I like to think of it as like an acronym. So CAPTCHA. So C stands for curiosity. Students that feel they are learning to their abilities and their learning styles will be more comfortable and they'll be more curious to a topic they're more interested in. This will lead them to extend themselves in learning and attempt more challenging tasks. The A would stand for ambition. A change in the way we learn can lead to more ambitious goals and desires in a student's life. Passion. When students feel they have the support to their learning, they find more drive to learn and apply the knowledge they have. T is for teaching. When students are taught in different ways, it makes their learning more approachable and develop a sense of wanting to work better for themselves. The U is for understanding. A more inclusive and learning environment develops students with the ability to understand and apply their learning in real life situations. The R is for response. A syllabus that is catered to different learning abilities sees an improvement on response on the work that's done in the classroom. And E for encouragement. And lastly, if a student feels that their input is included and heard, they're going to enjoy the learning and they'll be encouraged to take positive actions and risks.
That's excellent. Thank you, Hepvia. I love that acronym, CAPTCHA. That's what we need, some more acronyms in life, right? But that is excellent. Well done to you. And how will the council's proposal aim to support the learning of neurodivergent students?
So by supporting diverse learning needs in schools, a neurodivergent student can feel that they can learn and understand to the best of their ability. They would approach tasks with a stronger mindset and feel that due to the change in the learning environment, they can gain more support. So when we're fostering a creative and inclusive learning environment, it can improve how accessible the learning is to students who learn differently to others. Overall, it will improve the response and relationships between students and studying.
Do you think that would also improve the relationship between students and teachers?
Yeah, because when teachers give their input into different types of learning, then students will feel that they have the support and they have a stronger relationship with the teacher and they're more comfortable with learning.
And teachers might enjoy a different style of teaching too, right? Yeah. Great example. Okay, Hefi, what is an example of implementing curiosity-driven learning in high school?
A curiosity-driven assignment in schools can look like students deep diving into a topic they're interested in. So let's replace the 1,000-word essay with a design challenge that allows students to take a prompt related to their learning and demonstrate their understanding through a creative portfolio. There are many ways we can change high-stake examinations or assignments into more creative and thoughtful tasks that assess a student in a different way, that minus the stress and the hardships when doing assignments.
Yeah. And that's one thing that we're looking at, I guess, with students and the high pressure stakes and feeling the stress from those exams. So I guess that leads into a nice segue into mental health and how important that is for students at school. So we'll look at that with Mahika. Sorry, what do you think could happen to student well-being in schools if schools reduce the focus on high stakes exams?
Thank you, Katrina. Apologies for if there's any noise coming from my area. We just had fourth period now. So with the focus on more lenient assessments compared to traditional high-stakes exams, this can allow students' well-being to flourish better than before. This is because of the large rise of anxiety and stress created by the assignments, which can lead to behaviors such as being burnt out, procrastination, or even dropping school altogether. If we reduce these forms of assessments, stress levels would be likely to drop, and students might actually focus more on actually understanding the material rather than memorizing just for a test.
That seems to happen a lot, just memorizing for the test, and then 2 weeks later, that info's gone. Can you give me an example of a type of a creative assessment that could be given?
Similar to what Hetvi said, I guess portfolios are a great idea, presentations, or even performance-based tasks like debating or making art, music, or just even basically even writing something creative.
Yeah. I have a question for you. Debating, does that get assessed, or is that a completely different competition?
Not really. We don't normally get debating form of assignments get in school. They're mostly just a separate thing. But I do believe if we do add debating within like curriculums or within assignments, it can actually make like assignments more fun instead of like a drag.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Imagine being assessed for debating. How fun would that be?
exactly. Yeah, definitely.
And we want to put a smile on students' faces. Okay, so why do you think high stakes exams disadvantage neurodivergent and anxious students?
I believe that high-stake exams disadvantage neurodivergent and anxious students is that because of the format that can trigger significant anxiety, impairing cognitive function and memory retrieval. This can be more severe for neurodivergent individuals who conditions may act negatively within the test environment, such as feeling overstimulated or difficulty with understanding the information. The pressure of a high stakes test, the artificial nature of the format, and potential unfairness in the assessment process can also contribute to unequal opportunities and detrimental impacts on well-being and learning outcomes.
Yeah. Do you know anyone who's experienced that?
At the top of my head, not that I know of, but I do actually. I do. One of my close friends, after she does an exam, she, I guess, sort of breaks down.
Ah,
Crying, and which I feel obviously really bad. So when she normally does that, I try to change the subject of what
that's a good
she's
idea.
so she doesn't feel more worse. So yeah, I think that's been, and especially in selective high schools, if as a selective student, it's really hard, especially when after doing a test and the competition is it's just terrible.
I can imagine. Yeah, even more stressful, right? That competition. Yeah. Layla's joined us. Welcome, Layla. I'm glad you could get on. Don't worry about those technical difficulties. It happens.
Thanks, Katrina.
But I just want to ask you, could you define for us what a personalised learning plan is?
So, in short, a personalised learning plan is a flexible student care centre plan that ensures teaching and learning and are tailored to meet individual needs, especially for students with diverse learning styles, disabilities, or particular talents. Its purpose is to build on a student's strengths and identify areas where a student may need additional support.
Great. And if they became a standard in schools, how might they change the way students engage with lessons?
I think students would probably feel more supported because lessons would be tailored to their needs and learning styles. This could make them more interested and confident in participating because these exams often rely on speed and memorization, which can be difficult for students who need more time, work better in different formats, or experience high anxiety under pressure.
Yeah. Do you think those that have a different way of being assessed, do you think those other students who enjoy high stakes exams would become jealous, or do you think that could happen, or if everyone's got their own plan, it would be okay?
I think if everyone had their own plan, it would be okay. But if it was just the neurodivergent kids, and then yeah, I think they would get jealous.
Yeah, we'd need to work on that. Okay, back to Mahika. How do flexible, curiosity-driven assessments better prepare students for real-world skills compared to traditional exams?
They encourage problem solving and teamwork and creativity, which are skills that are mostly used in most careers. So even in the most popular careers, like for example, being a lawyer, being a doctor, that sort of careers, well, rather than just recalling facts under time conditions, to be honest, I don't think that sort of mentality is actually really used in the real world. So yeah, that's basically just it.
Yeah, that'd be fine. And back to you, Layla. Can you think of a time in your own education where a personalised or creative assessment worked better for you than a standard exam?
Yes, actually, in a history project, we got to choose how to present our research on a particular historical figure. I made a video instead of writing an essay, and I felt that I learned more because I enjoyed the process. I found it a little more exciting way to express that what I had learned and felt that I have retained that knowledge due to the fact that I enjoyed the project.
Yeah, that's awesome. I have to agree with that. I think when I was at school a long time ago, similar thing, I had a teacher who taught in such a way that it just helped me really memorize things so easily because I enjoyed the process. Danielle, how do you think the recommendations connect to the concept of student voice in education?
They show that students should be involved in decisions about how they learn and how they're assessed, making education more relevant and fair. They're centered around students and their personal needs in education rather than what teachers believe works for students or what works for majority of students, but not all.
Yeah, it sounds like a real partnership there, doesn't it? And in what ways do these recommendations align with broader goals of equity and inclusion in education?
They make sure every student, no matter their background or abilities, gets the support and opportunities they need to succeed.
Amazing, thank you. Now I'll move to you, Hetvi, because last term the council met with Paul Martin, who is the CEO of NESA, and presented this report. How did he take it?
So when we were presenting the report, he gave us a few different insights. Firstly, like a really surprising insight. He actually doesn't believe in the ATAR, and he was also very like iffy on the HSC, high school, those high stress exams. He was very aware of the pressure of exams and how it affects our mental health. And he also loved the report. So what he asked is he wanted the council to redesign the whole curriculum from scratch, giving some like 5 different recommendations on what we would do if we completely scrapped everything. We didn't have exams, we didn't have assignments. What exactly would we do to make education better? So one of the common recommendations that we saw with around the council was that a common Oh my God. A common recommendation that we had as a council was to shift high-stake examinations and assessments to assessments that are student-guided, focused on growth, creativity, and assessments that taught more about applying to real life and beneficial to our learning and development. So it was mostly the shift of stressful exams to better self-guided exams.
I love that. Well done. And Mahika, what other initiatives is the council working on at the moment?
Thank you, Katrina. So the internet here is really poor. Anyways, the council is working on an anti-bullying rapid review, presenting a research-based examination of school-based bullying across New South Wales, the public education system, drawing on responses from 387 students in the metropolitan, regional, and rural areas. It critiques current anti-bullying approaches and proposes students-informed, evidence-based policy recommendations. So we've actually sent out a survey across New South Wales from the councils to send out to their schools, and out of the students, 47.4% of students are actually bullied within school, and for reporting, 60.9% haven't actually reported to their schools. 35.9% of students are bullied for their appearance, and for intervention improvements, most students said they wanted more severe punishments for the bully. And in regards to bullying, only 40.8% of students believe that their school isn't providing them with the appropriate related support. We've also analysed the difference between the the metro and rural directorates in regards to bullying, where in rural areas, small school sizes and tight-knit communities lead to subtle and coordinated social exclusion, where victims remain socially connected yet emotionally isolated. And also seeking help is really stigmatized within those communities, and a lack of anonymity discourages the reporting. However, in metro schools, bullying is often normally tied to identity, appearance, and social status, operating through the psychological tactics and institutional neglect. Students feel dismissed and unsupported, with bullies rarely facing the consequences, where despite these challenges, both settings have the potential to foster inclusive cultures and if empathy and student voices are prioritized. So the council decided to create 5 recommendations that we made, which includes strengthening accountability and consequences for the perpetrator, improve responsiveness and training for staff when it comes to bullying, implement confidential and accessible reporting systems, such as creating anonymous boxes where people can tell that they're getting bullied, and increase student support and wellbeing services where they don't feel stigmatized, and lastly, to promote a whole school culture of inclusion and empathy.
Thank you, Mahika. So that submission was for the federal government anti-rapid bullying review, and then we're also working with Professor Donna Cross on the New South Wales government one as well. Excellent work there, Mahika. Thank you. So Layla, I guess we would love to hear what else the council is working on as well. I hear that sun safety is a big issue in schools. Can you tell us about the SunSafe Ambassador program you did at the Melanoma Institute and your work with the Cancer Council?
Absolutely. Sun safety is a really important issue in schools, especially in Australia, where we sadly have the highest rates of skin cancer in the world. I had the opportunity, along with my fellow Doves, to be part of the SunSafe Ambassadors program at the Melanoma Institute, where I learned about raising awareness about protecting ourselves from harmful UV rays. We focused on practical strategies like wearing hats, sunscreen, and seeking shade, but also how to spread these messages in ways to connect with young people. I'm fortunate to be part of the SunSmart Youth Advisory Council, and we just had our first meeting via Teams last week. The aim of the Council is to provide a space for students to share their thoughts and concerns about sun safety with their school and community. I am particularly passionate about creating impactful solutions as my own school doesn't have a good sun safety system currently. I went to a primary school that had the motto, "No hat, no play," to a high school where only a handful of students wear a hat during recess, lunch, and even PE sessions. I'm hoping to gain knowledge and skills on how to change that culture at my school.
That's great, Layla. And what was one thing that came out of that meeting you had last week?
That kids think that hats really aren't cool and only like the lame kids wear it.
Mm.
Um,
And we were trying to think of ways to come up to make them cool, weren't we?
yeah, one of them was, Katrina, you need to model it.
But also maybe Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
We can get Tay-Tay doing it on TikTok, then I think everyone would be into a bucket hat. So that's a mission, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you to our students for your input today and telling us what the council is doing and focusing on, and fostering creative and inclusive learning environments is so detrimental to our students' mental health and feeling nurtured and seen and creating a sense of belonging. So I really appreciate your work on this today. But my last question to each of you is, what does student voice and agency mean to you? If you can just give us your overview. We'll start with Hetvi.
So to me, student voice and agency can be summed up to around like 3 different words. So diversity, thought, and action. Student voice and agency comes from a diverse range of young people wanting to create a positive and innovative change. They have a thought and an idea that they would love to implement and have a goal to step up as leaders to create action and change. So they're not just thinking about it, they're taking the action that they need. So it's a diverse thought that is acted upon. That's what student voice means to me.
That's excellent. I love that. You have to take action to make change, don't you? Otherwise, it's just an idea. Danielle, what's your idea on student voice and agency?
To me, student voice and agency means that young people aren't just the audience of education, but active participants in shaping it. Student voice is being heard, having our perspectives, experiences, and ideas genuinely valued in decisions that affect us. And agency goes a step further. It's about being trusted with the responsibility and opportunity to make choices, lead initiatives, and take action.
Thank you, Danielle. Excellent. Mahika.
Thank you. To me, student voice and agency provides the foundation of our future. It helps shape students' perspectives and provides input about their education. Furthermore, it improves confidence and critical thinking. I mean, without a student voice, how are we to know what to fix within our education system? It also helps students within the future when they join the workforce, where they have to apply their opinions on how their work is conducted. With student voice and agency, it forms a culture of respect and collaboration.
Very nice. Respect and collaboration. Very, very key words there. And lastly, Layla, what are your thoughts?
So to me, student voice and agency means that students get to share their ideas and actually have a say in decisions, not just be told what to do. It's about being trusted to help shape our learning and our school community. When students are given agency, it shows that our voices matter and that we can make a real difference.
Yeah, very nice. All right, well, that's all of our presentation today. I'm just going to throw it out to anyone to see if you've got any questions for our students, anything about what they've said today, what they're working on. If you'd like to know more about how the council runs, please feel free to put your hand up and ask a question or pop it in the chat.
How did you get to be on the council? Like what led you to that? Anyone? Everyone?
Happy?
So like the process of getting onto the council?
Yeah, like how did it happen?
So, firstly, I heard about the council with one of my fellow students. So what we did is I had to do a video. I had to do a video about what does the council mean to me? What are the initiatives that I can put forward? And what I did is we filmed the video and then we had to fill out a proposal. So we had to create a recommendation. We had to explain what our recommendation is and what are the outcomes from this. So we also did an interview with Katrina and a few other staff. And from that, they kind of told us, well, you've been on the council. So it was like a whole process.
Mm.
And then we also have students who are currently on the council and who are leaving do the interviews as well. So they're peer-led interviews. I obviously ask questions and facilitate it, but I like it to be a peer-to-peer decision. Yeah. Would anyone else like to answer that question? Mahika? Oh,
Sorry, Katrina, we're here with some of our students. We're from Hetby School as well, and some
oh,
of our
hi.
students are listening in. I think that some of them would like to comment or contribute.
Yeah, love that.
We just really admire your whole program. Like the whole thing about student voice really gives all of us an insight into what real change is, because not only are we like seeing the change, but it feels like we're a part of something. And at the Centre of Excellence, we have a subject called applied learning, where multiple different subjects such as geography, English, math, like they're all combined into one, where we use real life scenarios to create solutions to those problems in today's world. So not only are we learning about the world, but we actually are applying our knowledge from all different ranges of backgrounds to help make a solution in our own minds. So we're like studying and we're like learning to make sort of like differences and like extending our knowledge to what we could do in the future.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for your thoughts there. You know, we've had your school on the council for some time now. We had Angelina before Hetby, so we know that you've got an amazing school. So thank you so much for your thoughts there. And I love that you're focusing on that that subject. It sounds like it's really doing positive things within your school. So well done. Mahika, did you want to?
Oh, I was just actually going to tell my story of how I joined the council.
Okay.
I actually was looking up online of what other school initiatives were there, and I saw the Minister Student Council on it, and I was really interested in it. But before I wanted to apply for it, I wanted to actually make a project in school, which I made the HPGE Olympics, targeted towards selective students. It was a really good workshop that I created. It was really great. And I wanted to try it out. Then I then I had the interview and it was amazing. I definitely recommend to anyone that tries being a part of the council. You make so much new friends, you make so much connections, and it's just amazing.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that you notice. We all come together in March and the new students meet the current students, and the bond that they build over 3 days is just amazing. So it's true when they say surround yourself with like-minded people, and when you do, you thrive. So yeah, it was a wonderful experience. Anyone else want to comment on their experience on applying or why you applied? Layla?
Ever since like I was younger, I was always passionate about student voice and how like I wanted to have a say in things. And my mum saw it on social media. I think it was Instagram, and she told me about it, and then I got really keen and decided to apply. And yeah,
There you go.
and I regret nothing.
Aw, love that. Danielle, did you want to say anything or?
I was recommended by a teacher. So me and Indy were pulled aside. Indy's another member of the council. By one of our teachers, and he was telling us all about it, and that's why we applied in the first place.
Yeah, well, that's great. Thank you. Is there any other questions? No? Hetby, you've got a question.
I accidentally put the hand up sign.
Okay.
But I could just say, well, yeah, when the first time I met everyone in the council, it's like I already made 26 new friends because it was like an instant like connection. Like we were all just like I was sitting next to Mahika on the bus and we started talking about so many things. We're like, oh this, oh that, and I'm like, I just met her just on the first day in the morning and we instantly clicked. So yeah, I think it's a really good idea if you really love student voice to apply.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, even Danielle was my roommate at the time too. So it was really funny. Because obviously we came from two different places and then when you like are in the same room and it turns out me and Danielle and Heffy and Layla, everyone, it was not hard to make friends with them. It was so easy. Like I learned so much from their perspectives. I learned so much from everybody else. it's amazing. It's a 10 out of 10 experience. Literally.
So lovely. That's good to hear. Love it. All right. Well, I think it's 12:40. If there's no more questions, thank you everyone for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed that presentation. I can certainly send out my contact details. If you wish to contact me for further information, please do. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us today.